So, after taking a long, much-needed break from Dead by Daylight, I've been giving the game another go. I noticed that the cheaters aren't as prevalent as they were a few months ago, so clearly the devs have been cracking down on them, and I have been encountering them very rarely now, so that is something that has improved. However, the game is still heavily balanced in favor of survivors, which means that killers have to resort to tactics survivor mains consider bad sportsmanship. I keep hearing survivor mains complaining about killers not playing fair. Understand this. If you are a SWF, one of the tools killers need to use in order to be competitive in the game is altruism, or rather to take advantage of your altruism towards your fellow SWF members. If we hook one of your teammates and lay in wait for one of you or more to come to the rescue, which we know you will do immediately once we realize that you are a SWF, by the way, it is totally a reasonable, non-dickish tactic. We are not camping. We are simply playing the game. Now, SWFs already have an unfair advantage from the beginning of the game, since you can effectively communicate with each other across the map, and let me emphasize this here, in a way the game is not designed to be played. You are supposed to be playing people who are sneaking around the map, trying not to be detected. When you are on a SWF, you are effectively yelling across the map to your friends in a way that would instantly alert the killer to your position. Now, trust me, we killer mains, we would much rather be patrolling generators and looking for fresh victims. But when we realize that those new victims are racing to the spot where we just hooked their teammate, it would be foolish for us not to hide and wait for you. Anything less is simply not playing the game to our full capacity. Also, we are playing monsters and masked maniacs. Since when do they play nice? When I first got into DBD, I made a serious effort when I was playing Killer to make sure that the people playing Survivor were having a good time. I just assumed that when I jumped out from behind cover, it would make their hearts leap in their chests, and that they might have a laugh afterward the same way they would when they're watching a horror film. But here's my theory on why the Survivor main community in Dead by Daylight is so damn toxic. Survivor mains are not horror fans. So they see the killer mains as griefers who are out to ruin their good time. But do you really find it fun playing against killers who don't give you a run for your money? Do you really want us to just stand in place while you do generators? Do you not enjoy the thrill of the chase? When I get beaten by a really good Survivor team that is using smart tactics and mad crazy skills, I find the experience enjoyable. I might be frustrated at the end of the match, but in a good way. I realize I've been outplayed. So, in the endgame chat, I type good game, and I wish them luck on their next match. Meanwhile, when I get the 3K, or better yet, the 4K, what do I get? Salt. Not even the finely ground kind, but the rough, rocky kind. Like kosher salt? The devs realize that SWFs are their bread and butter, and they have increasingly been tailoring the game in favor of SWFs in terms of perks. This has led to killer mains absolutely having to camp, slug, and tunnel in order to remain competitive in the game. If we don't do those things, we are getting our clocks cleaned. And when you get completely wiped out by a SWF, particularly the toxic kind, Dead by Daylight is a thoroughly miserable, unenjoyable experience that just makes you want to not play the game. Now, I get it, Survivor mains. You want to beat us and get your entire team out through those gates. That's your goal in the game. Our goal as killer mains is to get as many of you as possible and possibly even go for that oh so rare coveted 4K. So don't get mad at us. Either stop using Discord, which we both know you're not about to do, or get on the devs to make the game more fairly balanced. Anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Peace.